Hi, I'm Margaret Van Land Martin, psychic, medium, tarot reader, teacher, and Reiki master. I have an extensive collection of tarot cards that I love to look at. I became interested in the tarot in the 80s while wandering through antique shops with my husband, who owns an antique business. I had started to collect fortune-telling items because of my interest in astrology, divination, and psychic phenomenon. I began to notice fortune-telling card decks and started to realize that there are many different types. Remember, this is before the internet even existed. I lived in a small town with no spiritual shops, so being able to travel around to other cities opened up this world of cards to me. Over the past 40 years, I have collected many different fortune-telling items. Most are card decks, and I cannot wait to share them with you. While collecting fortune-telling items, I quickly found out they all worked for me. I can read tea leaves in my fortune-telling teacups. I can use the dice. I can read the simple 36 card decks. But tarot cards were so much more complicated. In order to understand and learn to read tarot cards, I signed up for my first tarot class in 1998 and was shown how to use the Rider-Waite deck. We were taught that each card had a specific meaning, and in order to be a reader, you must memorize the cards. Well, I have no affinity with either the Rider-Waite deck or with memorization. Since all other fortune-telling objects were easy for me to interpret, and I used them instinctively, I just put the cards away. But that did not stop me from collecting tarot card decks. I kept hoping for the one that would match me. And finally, I found my favorite deck, the Cagliostro deck from U.S. Game Systems, copyright 1981. It is a reprint of the Stuart R. Kaplan of the classic Italian deck first published in 1912 and is a troth deck. This I will explain later. It has Egyptian imagery, astrology signs, and short interpretations on the cards. With my interest in astrology, foreign countries and cultures, and my love of all things Egyptian, as you can see around me, it is no wonder I took to these cards like a duck to water, and now the rest is history. I read tarot all the time. I read for myself, I read for others, I read for my clients, I read at my office. I love the tarot. I even read online. I read at psychic and spiritual fairs. With the deck that I love, I can read anywhere with ease. It is my deck. Over time, I found two more decks that I have affinity with. The Old English deck by Maggie Keene for U.S. Game Systems, which is a Marcel deck. The other one is the Cosmic Tarot deck by Norbert Loesch from U.S. Game Systems, copyright 1993. It is a Rider-Waite inspired deck printed in Belgium. Now my clients have a choice of 3 decks, and each one speaks to me in a different voice, with the pictures letting me know what to say to my clients. I have never memorized the cards. I still only use the Cagliostro deck at fairs, as the atmosphere is noisy and distracting. So I use the cards that I have the most affinity with. I am fortunate to have received training with the Rider-Waite deck, and it is the most common deck style. And I suggest my students have this deck as a resource. Yet, I want my students to also choose the decks that speak to them. To inspire you in choosing your deck, the deck that resonates with you, I am sharing my experience with the tarot and my collection of different fortune-telling cards, oracle, and tarot cards with you today. See you in the next video. Bye for now.